we are gathered here today, comadre, to do what?
Why you started off like well, no,
Like
I
a
was gonna
funeral?
say yeah, but then no, isn't that what they say at weddings?
Weddings. We are
Probably both.
gathered here today,
Dearly beloved.
my dearly beloved. Yes, because Jenny, I've been through a lot, okay, team. I've been through a lot, and I'm
Yeah,
gathered here with all of you today.
I know. I feel so bad. Val has just been struggling with this tech, but it's not her fault. It's literally just like the rain
The
and
rain, the Wi-Fi,
the
Bluetooth.
Discord.
Yeah. Yeah. This is your reminder to please subscribe so our channel can get
Yeah.
better. If you want better audio, please subscribe, okay?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Subscribe so we can manifest an editor so we don't have to deal with a really slow system that we had to work on today. Subscribe so we
Mm-hmm.
can get the highest tech and we can get our own IT group. Maybe not like a whole
Yeah.
group, but a
So we can pay
guy, you
people.
know? Yeah,
Someone,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we can
Or chick,
stimulate the
feminism,
economy.
If you want a job, but subscribe so we can employ people. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here
Okay.
for it. Okay, well, hola,
Okay.
comadre. We didn't start with the
Hola,
hola. We
comadre.
always have to.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
girl. All right. Well, I feel like we've had a very interesting week
Mm-hmm.
for both of us. I don't know. I feel like we've been a little stressed out, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to be here today. We are doing part 2 on the health and fitness episode. So if you guys have already seen part 1, this is a direct continuation of that. We're literally just going to pick up right where we left off and we're going to get
Mm-hmm.
right into it. Hoping that this could be quick because we know the last one was pretty long. And we just want to get this information to you and get you guys on the right track, tell you what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us. As always, we are not doctors, we are not nutritionists. While we do have some certifications and we have some credentials and we have lots of life experience, always go to the professionals for your individualized needs. And another disclaimer, we are going to be talking about food culture, diet culture, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of a thing. So if that is triggering for you, we will see you in the next episode. Anything else you have before we get started, Val?
No, I'm feeling good. Let's do it.
All right. So, last episode, we kind of talked about the past all the way leading up to the present and how we were taught about health and fitness, some of the messages that we've been taught, some of the myths, things like that. In this episode, we're going to give you guys the tangible takeaways and give you something positive so that you can use that information and help yourself moving forward. Because I think that's something that we can kind of get a little misguided on. Like, I'm all for complaining and venting. I think it's healthy. I think it's therapeutic. But I feel like if you don't come up with a solution, all you're doing is keeping yourself stuck in that mentality, in that toxic cycle. So we want to help you guys get out of it in many different ways, but on this specific episode for health and fitness. So, some beginner friendly fitness tips. For me, this is what I would say: start small. You do not have to completely change your life and do a 180 overnight. You do not have to completely change your habits and change your eating patterns and work out 5 times a week and drink a whole gallon of water and read all the books in the world, etc., etc., etc. What I would say and what I would suggest is take what you're already doing and add a little bit to it. And as time goes on, keep layering on more so that it doesn't feel like such a drastic change, because the human brain is going to have a hard time comprehending such drastic change that it's going to self-sabotage. So you want to kind of ease into it so that you're able to stick to it long term. So a few little tips for you to start small if you are in that position where you are a beginner at your fitness. 2 workouts a week is enough to begin. I know that sounds kind of controversial, but I think it is more than enough to start off, especially if you are sedentary. I would say even like walking. Walking is perfectly fine. Going for 2 30-minute walks a week to start off with, and then the next week doing 3, the next week doing 4, and so on and so forth. That is going to add on activity that you do not already have in your lifestyle. So that is going to make a difference over time. And it is going to compound over time. Consistency matters more than intensity. I think this is one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen, especially I used to be a coach at Orange Theory. And I remember when people would come in, because it was a very intense workout, they would want to keep up with everybody and they'd be like trying to do as much as everybody. And I would have to remind them, like, slow down. You have a heart rate monitor on you. Use that to your advantage. If you notice that your heart rate is going a little bit higher than it should be for this particular workout, take whatever options you need for those exercises. Do power walking instead of running on the treadmill. If you need to do like a kneeling push-up instead of a regular push-up, do that. Meet yourself where you're at right now so that you can build that strength over time. Otherwise, if you come in and you're guns a-blazing and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna burn the most calories in the world, you're literally gonna burn yourself out because you're not used to it. So that would be my biggest tip. A few examples here. Again, walk after dinner. That is really, really good for your digestion. Stretch while you're watching your novelas. Do some habit stacking,
Yes.
like you don't have to sacrifice one thing for another. I know a big trend that's going on right now that I have seen on TikTok, and I've been influenced. I want to partake in this trend. Is people will buy walking pads and they'll walk on it while they're like watching a movie, or I'll see people put on like a really pretty picturesque like ambiance on YouTube. Like for me, I'm obsessed with Disney. If you look up like walking around Walt Disney World, you can find videos where people are walking around the resorts and then you just like walk on your walking pad and pretending you're there. Which honestly, I feel like that's a good manifestation tip too, because it's like
Yeah.
I could walk in Paris. I could
Visualize.
walk in.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Um,
Mhm.
Another example, gym immediately after work or before going to the gym. So just like making it a non-negotiable and figuring out
Mhm.
what works for you. Some people like to work out in the morning, some people prefer to work out at night. Like figure out through trial and error and know that it's not going to be perfect at first. There is going to be that error part of it as you are figuring out what works for
Mhm.
you. So, any bells that are ringing with you, Val, as I'm talking about this?
Yeah, so actually, my psychology professor in high school, I took AP Psych with Dr. Souls, if anybody remembers Dr. Souls, very against doing crash courses or like crash studying the night before an exam. And he was like, if you don't know, you're just not gonna learn it like the night before. Like your brain is like a muscle. Like you can't go to the gym and crash gym. You can't just be like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
lift all the weights and run and
Yeah.
like and all of a sudden like I'm swole now. It's like no, like
Mhm.
you build muscle over time and it's based on reps and it's based on how many times you do something. And he's like, your brain is the same way. Like, unless you just have like photographic memory, like there is no way you're gonna like sit and study all night and then the next day you're just gonna be ready.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like what I try to lead with and apply. It's like, okay, like my body is muscle. And like I try to think of it like muscle memory. Like every day I have to use this. So after dinner, I will do 40 squats. I will stretch when I watch TV. That one came from martial arts. Like if I couldn't just watch TV team, I was like, no, I have to stretch while I watch this.
Yeah.
So it's still really good because like it rolls out my hips. So just if you don't use it, you lose it. And so it's the same way with muscle. Like you gotta keep using it. You gotta protect it, take care of it. I think Jenny had some amazing like a really good list to get you guys started. Walking is free, get your this was actually Jenny put me onto this, but like hot girl walks, like put on your cute outfit, your
Yeah.
summer shorts, go get a
Romanticize it.
tan. Yes, that also really helped me out was like romanticizing it. It's like you are a vibe, so like look cute, get your cute like hat on, like especially for me, sometimes I don't like my hair because it's short and it's like, well, I don't want to do it just to go walking. So I'm like, all right, let's get a cute hat, some cute shorts, posting about it. And I think people have seen me do this. Like, did you get your workout in? Like, make it engaging, but it doesn't have to
Mm-hmm.
cost a thing. I know Jenny in the notes, she's got like YouTube workouts during COVID, actually, when
Mm.
the gym was crazy, 6 feet apart, all of the stuff, at home workouts. And you're like, quickly realize that it's like, okay, it doesn't, I don't need all the machines. I don't need all of this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
your body has weight on it and you can push your own body weight. Like,
Yes.
you are your own machine. Like, you can move yourself. So I
Yeah.
don't know, Jen.
No,
I don't know.
actually, I'm glad that you brought that up because that actually reminded me of when I did 75 hard, which
Yeah.
I want to do a whole episode dedicated to that because I feel like there's a lot of pros and cons with the experience that I've had doing that because I have done it twice. But I remember on the days that I wasn't able to fit a workout in, like carve out enough time to drive to the gym, do a really long gym session, and then drive all the way back home, or if I had already done my outside workout for the day, but I didn't want to do another outside workout. What I would do is I would find these workouts on YouTube and they were really low impact. It was like literally the bare minimum. I think they're just called like walking workouts or something like that. Or like you can look up like get 10,000 steps by the end of this video or something like that, which that might be a really long time, but like, you know what I mean? So anyways, I would look this up and it would just be a person and they would be just very gently moving their arms, not doing a whole jumping jack or anything like that. And they would just be like going like this and moving their feet and just tapping their feet. It was super, super easy. It was enough to like kind of get my heart rate up and just genuinely move my body. And I would put that like on my laptop on the side and I would follow it. And then I would just like put a show on in the background. That way, you know, again, if I didn't have time, I didn't have an excuse and I was able to do something in the background. So I think that's also a really good option for those who need low impact because there might be people out there who have injuries or they might have health conditions that prohibit them from doing like these really high intensity workouts that are involving a lot of jumping and plyometrics and things like that. You do not have to do that in order to get a valid workout in. And kind of while we're on the topic, also make it like fun and like cultural. Go to Zumba, girl. Like we're Latin. We love to dance. Like use that.
Yeah.
Get excited. Have fun with it. Go hiking with your family. Not fitness related, but more on the health and nutrition side. Cook healthier versions of your comfort foods. So see if you can experiment with a recipe that you already know and find healthier alternatives to plug in there. On the last episode, Val and I highlighted a few influencers who do put out healthy recipes or healthier versions of Hispanic recipes, whether it be Cuban or Mexican or Puerto Rican or whatever the case may be. So again, there's no excuse there. We have the internet, like you use that as part of your tool belt. Any other thoughts on how to make it cultural and fun?
Yeah, I have an aunt and she's very Latin, very passionate, very sexy. But this aunt is all about dance and movement. So like she was like, let's go to belly dancing, let's go to Zumba, let's go to this, let's go to salsa. I'm like, oh dang, let's go swimming. But she wore like waterproof lipstick, and this woman, like after class, she just like looked like she had this beautiful, like glossy tan skin, and like after sweating, she's like, oh, I'm tired. Let's go get something like refreshing, like such a vibe. And I'm like, this woman just danced for an hour and a half and she was
Yeah.
fit. She stayed fit her whole life, but she made it
Yeah.
look so sexy and fabulous. And I was just like, damn, like I want to be like you. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
like you, yeah, make it hot, make it fun.
Well, I was
Yes.
gonna say, you know who's the prime example of that?
Mm-hmm.
Selena.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally,
Yes.
she didn't even eat good. Like there's
Yeah.
interviews where she's like, "Yeah, I do not eat good," but she was dancing up on that stage like crazy, and
Mm-hmm.
she had an
Mm-hmm.
amazing body. So yeah, have
Mm-hmm.
fun with it. Like, and
Yeah.
it's so good for your nervous system too.
Yeah.
The next tip that I would have is focus on addition, not restriction. So instead of thinking, I can't eat this, think of how can I add more of this positive thing, X, Y, Z. So how can I add more protein? How can I add more
Mm-hmm.
fiber? How can I add more fruits and veggies? And a lot of times when you start to do that, you end up starting to eat healthy anyways without having to have tried so hard. So that's something that's really helped me a lot. Or I try to flip my mindset on it and think to myself, like, instead of thinking that I need to restrict myself or like, I shouldn't eat that. No, I should stay away from that. I try to think to myself, okay, first thing in the morning, I just woke up. How can I fuel my body today? Like, I'm about to have a really nice, juicy workout. What do I want to put in my body so that I feel nourished, so that I feel energized? And that really tends to help me. I know we were actually having this conversation before we got on. We were having it on Snapchat. So any thoughts on that,
Mm-hmm.
Val?
Yeah, I think, well, this kind of goes back to what you were saying. So you can always make it healthy. So I I currently cycle sync, so I go
Mm,
based on my hormones, based on the calendar of my hormones. So when it gets to PMS week, I will crave more chocolate. So one of
mm,
the things that I will do is like I will make like a protein chocolate brownie, or instead of like having like a chocolate milkshake, I will have a protein chocolate milkshake. So it's like I'm gonna have the thing, but I'm gonna make it healthy. Or if I want froyo, because I am notorious for like wanting ice cream or frozen desserts, I'm like, okay, well, I can make it, but I can make it healthy. So I'm gonna have the thing. I'm just gonna have it healthier. That way
mhm.
you don't feel like you're missing out, but it's better for your health anyway. Like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think honestly, as time goes on, when you do start to slowly incorporate these better lifestyle choices, your body kind of ends up craving it anyways. Like you get to
Mhm.
a point where if you have too much sugar, like I was telling my coworker the other day, I was like, honestly, sometimes if I have too much sugar, I will wake up the next day feeling like I'm hungover. And it's kind of annoying.
Same.
But,
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm like, "Well, dang, I know that it's not good for me." Or, like, there's sometimes where
Yeah.
I will have a treat meal, and I will be I'm really craving this, I wanna have it." And then I have it, and then I just feel so sluggish, and I feel bloated, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, "Ugh." Like, yeah, it hit the spot, but, like, I don't really wanna have that anymore. Like, you know? So
Mhm.
but I feel like that's kinda what it should be. It should satisfy the craving enough to like get it out of your system, but then you also kind of see the other side of it and you're like, well, okay, I'm happy that I eat healthy, and like you start to crave those natural whole foods, nutrient dense,
Mhm.
protein dense kind of a thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, we do want to be realistic with you guys because obviously there are some things that might prohibit you from meeting your goals. That could be cost, that could be time, that could be exhaustion, multiple jobs, childcare, cultural expectations, especially if you're a woman in your family. You might be expected to do a lot of things as a woman in your family. Again, health, pre existing conditions, I should say. So, we do want to give you guys some tips or ways that you can get around that that might not be as cost driven or time consuming. So, again, we've mentioned it a few times, but walking and
Mhm.
running are completely free. You do not need to have a gym membership to do that.
Mhm.
I know there's a lot of different areas depending on where you live that they might have like little machines along the walkways. I know they have that in Las Cruces
Mhm.
where you can like go for a walk, and then on the walkway there's like a little shoulder press, or there's like a bicep curl machine, or things
Mhm.
like that. Again, YouTube workouts we mentioned earlier, there's a lot of Pilates on YouTube if that's your jam, so you can always take advantage of that instead of having to go to like these really expensive membership places. You can use resistance bands. They're actually not super expensive. You can get them online for a really pretty affordable, I would say. When it comes to nutrition, getting the meal basics. So, eggs, beans, rice,
Mhm.
chicken, frozen vegetables,
Mhm.
potatoes.
Mhm.
And again, we have the internet. Like, you can always look up what are some cheaper alternatives that are going to help me give me the most bang for my buck without having to sacrifice, the nutrition
Mhm.
and the quality of the food. So, any thoughts
Mhm.
on that, Val? Any suggestions?
Um, yeah, you can also always save money buying like wholesale. So like Costco, like you can always get like more bang for your buck. You can always get like frozen chicken.
Mhm,
So I used to buy frozen chicken tenders. You can get them baked or grilled, so like it's just
mhm,
ready to go. That's what I would have when I was living by myself and I would get out late. Like I would just like pop that in the microwave and then there you go. And I would top it off with like some yogurt sauce, like Greek yogurt sauce, something like that.
mm,
Dancing, you could totally look up dance tutorials. You could teach yourself how to dance on YouTube. That was the thing, like back in my aunt's day. I mean, she had a whole community, like, let's go dancing with the girls, which I love. But now you don't have to pay for it. You can learn how to dance from like the comfort of your room.
mhm,
So, tutorials, walking, running, what else is free? Calisthenics, you could definitely try to get into calisthenics, which is a little bit more intense, but again, it's your whole body weight. That's
mhm,
free. Eggs, super low cost form of protein. In this economy, they've gone up a little bit, but
yeah,
eggs are still relatively cheap. I'm trying to think, staying hydrated, and then things that are just simple and straight forward. It's like your bedtime, like, controlling when you go to sleep, because if you
Yeah.
lack sleep, then the next day you're gonna have cravings, or you're gonna wake up and you're gonna want sugar or carbs. So
Yeah.
also just like your hormones, so like going to sleep on time. Jenny most recently talked to me about implementing like a morning routine. So getting your head right, like
Yeah.
literally programming your brain before it goes on the phone and people are telling you what to do, what you think, what you eat. It's like before any of that, like protect your peace, protect your mind, and
Yes.
drink your warm tea or your water or whatever, meditate, do your morning pages, but also the way you end your night or your day, and then the way you start it, like also have a huge
So
effect
important.
on the rest of the day. Yeah, so
Right. Well, and I feel like
yeah.
I notice when I start the day right, I am able to make so much better choices. I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. It's science. You're priming your brain for making better choices because you took that time to like take care of yourself and like start your day off right. So instead of, scrolling on social media first thing in the morning, which is something that I've struggled with a lot, I'm doing better now, but
Mhm.
that's something that I used to do quite a bit. I will read a page from the Daily Stoic, or I will meditate. Literally, sometimes I will just take only 5 breaths if that's all I have time for that day.
Mhm.
And that really helps because I feel like on the days that I do start my day off scrolling, I end up scrolling almost the whole day. And it's like,
Mhm.
because I gave a little bit of that dopamine to my brain, it's craving more and it like
Yeah.
makes it feeds into the addiction. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Diet
Yeah.
definitely isn't just about what you're feeding yourself physically, it's about what you're feeding yourself mentally too. So that's also something that you should take into account.
Yeah. One thing that Jenny said that I do a lot is the buying frozen foods, like frozen vegetables, because you don't want to throw away your money. And this is what would happen to me. Like I want fresh this, fresh that. And then it's like, well, yeah, but then if you don't eat it, you got to throw it away. So like either freezing it or buying it frozen. So broccoli is a really good one. Just frozen veggies, even like sourdough. This was actually trending. It's like having like a frozen sourdough, and you can always take it to, like, if there's an event, you can unfreeze it, bake it, or dress it up or whatever. But even bread, because sourdough does mold. So I would have it for maybe 2 weeks and then it would be moldy. And I was like, well, I can't make healthy French toast, or I can't make whatever. And I was like, well, I guess I gotta throw it away. I'm like, no, just stick it in the freezer. So there are ways that you can stretch your money, because we want it to be actionable and in this economy, but also you're not throwing away your food. So yeah, I really like that
Yeah.
Jenny incorporated some of those little tips.
No, I think that's so important. And again, I want to reiterate, I know I said it several times, but use the internet. Use the internet. Like, there's so many people out there who are trying to help you to meet your
Mm-hmm.
goals, and they have been there, done that. So they're going to use that experience to give you guys the tips and tricks on how to save that money and meet your goals because you deserve to take care of yourself and do better and feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, real quick, we're going to do a myth busting rapid fire. I'll go through
Okay.
the quick list and then I'll ask you, Val, if anything sticks out to you. I know there's one on here. I don't necessarily think that you agree with the myth, but I think you have a lot of context to why your particular experience might tie into
Okay.
this. So I'm curious. Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'm
So,
listening.
our list is carbs make you fat. You have to cut tortillas. Lifting weights makes women bulky. You need to work out every day. Healthy food is always expensive. You have to hate yourself to change. Pain equals a good workout. If you miss a week, you failed. Okay. Any thoughts?
Okay.
Anyone stick out?
I think all of them are myths. Let me see which one.
So,
Healthy
the one I
food.
was wanting you to open up about your personal experience was carbs. And I know you don't think
Oh
that they
yeah.
make you fat. I
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
But I also think, and this is actually a really good way to kind of open up this topic, I think it's important to know what works for you because
Mm-hmm.
every single person is different.
Yeah.
And Val's diet is very different from my diet. And
Mhm.
I think that ties into like ethnicity. I think that ties into
Yeah.
ancestry. And honestly, I just think like random genetics like kind of unlock each other. So I'm really
Yeah.
curious to hear your thoughts on that because I know you have a lot of experience with, unfortunately, not so good experiences with carbs. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it just depends on the type of carb, because there are carbs that I can eat and digest, for example, like beans or lentils. So they are complex carbs. They do have protein. Like they're really good. They're a really good source of carbs. A lot of vegans, a lot of vegetarians, like what is it, like a black bean burger or whatever, like soy, like they are a really good source of protein. However, there are simple carbs like bread and pasta where you eat it and it gets converted into sugar, glucose. So if you are a type 1 or type 2 diabetic, maybe carbs aren't going to be your best fuel source. I mean, depending if you need more sugar or you don't need sugar, like if it's going to spike your insulin, you're not going to be wanting to eat white bread in the morning. Like, first thing I do, I'm going to spike my blood sugar or cereal or, fill in the blank. But for athletes, for example, like Simone Biles or even like
Like
Phineas
marathon
Ferb,
runners or
Michael Phelps. Yes, Phineas Ferb. We need to insert a picture of Michael Phelps. Hope he
sorry,
watches
that's so
this.
funny.
He was talking about his diet, and this man was like pancakes, McDonald's, because he needed that because he was in the water and he was burning so much
Yeah.
energy. So yes, it is an energy source if you're gonna use it. But if you're a sedentary person, I would not recommend eating
Mm-hmm.
like simple carbs because you're
Right.
working against yourself. However, like tortillas, I mean, like corn tortilla is better than flour tortilla, so that's a good
Mm-hmm.
swap. Like I'm not saying don't ever. I'm just saying you can
Yes.
eat the thing, but you can make it healthy. And also, you don't have to eat it every day. So that's like my take on carbs because if you eat too much of anything, if you eat too much fat, like it will make you fat. If you eat too many carbs, it's like a bear that's hibernating. Too much of anything is bad for you.
Right.
And we're not doing an ancestral diet. Like our ancestors couldn't pull up to Walmart or they didn't have a refrigerator. Like they hunted, they ate, and then they gotta keep moving,
Waited for
like
their next meal.
waited.
Yeah.
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 So,
No, I agree. And I think the key takeaway here is that it's not as black and white as it seems. While,
yeah.
yes, cutting out carbs can make you lose weight, it might not be
Mhm.
the most sustainable.
Mhm.
And there's more than just one type of carb. As Val mentioned,
Yeah.
there are simple carbs, which are usually going to be rice, pasta, bread, those kinds of things. And the reason they're called simple carbs is because it takes less time for your body to break down the carb. And then there's complex carbs, which will usually be like brown rice or grains or lentils. And usually those items, they will have some kind of coating around them that have a lot more fiber, and it takes more time for your body to break down. And so that's why fiber is one of the really good things to have in your diet, is because the more time it takes for your body to slowly digest that food, the fuller it feels for longer.
Mhm.
At least in terms of time, I should say.
Mhm.
There's other ways to keep yourself fuller for longer. Protein is also one of them, but
Mhm.
it's kind of a different concept. So I don't want to get too complicated. We're trying to
Mhm.
go on beginner level here. But yeah, and as Val said as well, anything in excess is going to make you gain weight. That's why it's called a deficit or a surplus. If you're in a surplus,
Mhm.
that means you're eating over your maintenance calories. If you're in a deficit, that means you're eating less calories than what your body is burning. And so
Mhm.
those, no matter what food groups you're going to cut out, you know, if you're at a deficit, you're going to lose weight. It doesn't matter if it's in the form of carbs or if you're just doing like a normal macro plan or,
Mhm.
whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to pick out a few more. I think a lot of these we kind of covered, but let's see here. Ooh, I think this is a good one. Pain equals a good workout. So I feel like, first of all, that's obviously not true. You can work out
Mhm.
and not be sore and still make gains. Your body usually will adapt over time. So if you are pushing yourself to the point where you're sore literally after every single workout, you might be overdoing it a little bit. Keyword on might be. Everybody's individual and everyone's situation's individual. Also, I think it's important to remind yourself that you should not be in like a sharp pain. Like there's a difference between feeling the burn of the muscle and feeling like a sharp pain. Like if you're ever doing yoga, usually you'll hear the teacher say that quite frequently, where it's like, hey, if this is uncomfortable, if you feel like a muscle is about to cramp, or if you feel like something's about to be pulled, stop what you're doing, reposition, and figure out what works for you. But there's a difference between that and like you're doing a bunch of squats and then as time like the muscles starting to like have like a burning sensation. I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe because I know, you know, there might be people listening to this who don't work out frequently, so they have a hard time kind of figuring out the difference between the two. But I feel like as time goes on, you kind of figure out what's normal. And so that's also why it's important to start off small so that you don't injure yourself because you're like, I don't know what that feels like, you know? Any others that you want to pull out of the myth pile here?
I was gonna say that I think a lot of these also come from like things we've been told, like no pain, no gain. But now it's like, okay, how can I make it so that I can train tomorrow? Because if you're sore and you can't work out the next day, then it's counterintuitive, especially for athletes. So there is a whole science on like, how can I optimize my nutrition plan? How can I optimize my workout plan? It's all about optimization. And I think the old school way was just like, we're just gonna grind till we die. We're just gonna pain no gain.
Pain
We're
is
just gonna,
weakness leaving the body.
yeah. And it's like, I mean, yeah, if you can't train the next 3 days, you know, like again, it goes back to how many reps. It's like the reps that you can do and you're gonna build that muscle over time versus like going all out one day and then you can't go back for a week. So gradual. It's all about gradual consistency. Yeah.
You know what? I will say something real quick that is going to be kind of contradictory to what we're saying. But again, it kind of goes back to figuring out what works for you. I think everyone's motivational style is different. I think some people, they thrive on what I'm saying right now, where it's like, okay, be gentle with yourself, give yourself grace, figure out what works for you. Like, remember you're an individual. Like, it's very intuition based. Okay. And there's some people that they just need a drill sergeant, and that is totally okay. Whatever works for you, as long as you have a healthy relationship with it, I think that's the key here. Because if you are doing the drill sergeant thing and then you're starting to kind of become like a little too obsessed, like that might not be the best thing for you. But like the other day I sent this video to Val, and I don't want to say it because there's a lot of cuss words in there, but it's like this sound of this like really tough guy in the background, and he's like, you're gonna go to work and you're gonna do this and and it's like me when I called my brother to motivate me and I made a mistake because I forgot he was gonna like tell it to me, like, you know, like just like that without having to worry about hurting my feelings. And for me personally, I think I go through seasons. Like there are some times where I'm like, let me just put on some David Goggins, like I just need somebody to like tell me to do it, or like let me watch Rocky Balboa, you know. But for me, it personally just depends on a season. For Val's brother, that man kind of scares me.
Same, dude. He's like, it's 3 a.m. I'm not ready. I'm like, okay, dude. All right, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. Okay. Men are just different, and that's okay. It also reminds me of like, sorry, Jose, if you're listening to this, like, don't beat me up, okay? But we were laughing because you put a video out there of like meal prep, and I opened YouTube and I was like, ooh, meal prep. Like, I wonder what he did, like thinking it was going to be like this really complicated recipe. And I was like, yes, like, let me see what Jose is eating. So I open it and it's literally just like a 5-second clip, and it's just like meat on the grill. And that's literally... And it has like 1,000 views. And I was like, you know what? Good for him. Like, he knows his target audience.
That's funny. We eat meat.
We need
What's
to bring
on
him on here.
We do. Oh, man, I know. The time and effort that we put into recording, prepping our food, making it aesthetic, and he's like, a grill, meat, fire.
I am men. Men eat meat. Men work out.
Keep it simple, okay? He's like, nothing, no carbs, nothing. You just need fire and meat. Oh,
it was so funny. Oh, I'm sweating.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's pick up where we left off. So we were just talking about some myths.
Uh-huh.
Now we're gonna offset it with some truths. So some truths for you guys. Sustainability beats perfection. Learning about
Mhm.
your body's specific needs is key. So again, yes, definitely. You can
Mhm.
honor culture and still pursue health. I think that's a good one because it's like
Mhm.
you don't have to give up the delicious Mexican food. Just make it different. Make the swaps,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
Also, I think I mentioned this on the last episode, but I'll say it again in case nobody's listening to that first one and they went straight to this one. If you don't like corn tortillas, because I kind of like them, but they're not my favorite, they're not my go to. I personally like to have lower carb tortillas. And there's a lot of brands out there like La Banderita that make good, really good tasting lower carb tortillas. So that's a good life hack for you so you don't have to give up your flour tortillas. Fitness should improve your life, not consume it. And fitness is not just for aesthetics, but an investment on your future, how easy you want your body to move in the future. Actually, this is a really good one, especially for women. I was just talking with Val today about how I feel like I've unlocked like a whole new side of my fitness recently because I've been focusing a lot on my performance goals, not more than my aesthetic goals, but like the way I worded it to her is I'm putting more eggs into that basket. And so, yes, I want to look a certain way. Yes, I want to weigh a certain weight. Like, I'm sorry, that's just how I feel. That's the season of my life I'm in. I do want to lose a percentage of my body fat. However, I have been using this app and they don't sponsor us. We don't got sponsors yet, but if you want to sponsor us, we will be happy to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the app is called Fitbod. I
I'm gonna
believe
look it up right
the
now.
Yes, go look it up. I believe the package I paid for is like $16 a month, so not too pricey. I mean, it is annoying having to pay for it on top of my gym membership, but honestly, I think it is so worth it. I've had it since January, and it's been helping me to track my progress so easily. Like, I am able to visualize how strong I have started to become in the last 5 months. And it's cool because you'll repeat certain exercises, and every single time you do the next exercise, it'll challenge you by either adding a little bit of weight to whatever you did the last time, or it'll challenge you by adding a few reps to whatever you did the last time. So I just think it's amazing. It's really helped me to kind of like stay in competition with myself and like get excited. And I've been hitting a lot of PRs. I was actually sending some PRs to Val and our friend Angela, who we are going to have on the podcast soon. And they were hyping me up and they were like, yes, because
Mm.
my weakest muscle is the chest muscles, and we're changing that, you guys. I'm starting to bench, okay? I'm gonna beat you up. No, I'm just kidding,
Yeah.
but I can if I want to. Um, so yeah, so that's my little 2 cents on that. Any thoughts on? Actually, I would love to know your thoughts on performance because you were an athlete for so long. So, like, how do you feel about that in comparison to aesthetic goals?
Yeah, I think on one, you're training for your sport and you're eating for your sport. Like on one end, it was kind of like the carb thing where it's like you're eating quick carbs because you need fuel, but also you're not trying to bulk. Like you're not trying to be a bodybuilder or put on a bunch of muscle. You're trying to stay lean and it is cardio based, so you're also running because you need endurance. But now, like in this season of my life, it's not about aesthetics. Don't get me wrong, aesthetics matter. Like I care what I look like, team. I care.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look good. But it's also about like I want to feel good and be healthy for as long as I can. Like I don't want to become insulin
Mm.
resistant. I don't want to have to take drugs or be on drugs or not be able to
Like
enjoy
not be
food
able to
because
get
I
up from
over
your chair.
yeah. Or like what kind of like mother am I gonna be or what kind of pregnancy am I gonna have? So I think like all of these things are more than just losing weight for the summer. It's like I'm in it for like the long game and I'm gonna eat healthy for until I die. I'm here for like my myself, my kids, my grandkids. Like I'm making choices for generations. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it can get easier, especially with AI, especially with tools, especially like again, if you don't know how to weightlift, there are apps for that. If you don't know how to dance, there's YouTube. If you don't know how to fill in the blank, there's also communities. Like if you have money to
Yeah.
spend, you can take classes, go build a community. So there's a lot of ways. Like there are a lot of ways and there are a lot of tools out there.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
free communities too. Like if you just go on Eventbrite, like you can find acro
Mm-hmm.
yoga or, things like that, or just like local events that they're doing at the park, or maybe it's for
Mm-hmm.
like a small fee. So yeah, try new things, figure it out. Yeah, Val and I were on the path to be fit grandmas. We're gonna be like
Yeah.
doing
Yes.
pull-ups with gray hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we are actually almost to a close. But we're gonna give you guys a few personal stories. So we have some prompts here. Let's see. So, first memory of body insecurity. I feel like we kind of talked about that in the last episode of like comments that were made on our bodies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
First healthy habit that actually stuck. Ooh, that's a good one. I feel like for me, I would say honestly like starting to go to the gym. Cause like when I
Okay.
first started going to the gym, it was because I wanted to get a revenge bod after a breakup. And then that
Okay.
just like unlocked this like little parasite inside me that was like, learn more, lift
Mm-hmm.
more. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. After that, it just kind of became addictive, and I've had a very long journey since then. It's kind of crazy to think about. I've been lifting weights for 10 years, but yeah, it's been a roller coaster, but a lot of good times. Anything stick out to you, Val?
Yeah, so the first healthy habit that stuck, and I watched this watching like growing up, watching my parents work out or live healthy lives. But for me, it was working out. I've never not worked out. It is very embedded in like my mental health. I did want to learn how to lift. So in high school, I was doing taekwondo, so martial arts, and then I did also do ROTC in high school and then in college. And so whenever we'd work out together as a team. And it was like running, push ups, sit ups, again, things you can do for free. But then I wanted to learn how to weight lift. I suffered a lot of injuries and it was because I didn't have enough muscle mass. So I was getting
Mm,
injured a lot.
yeah.
And so Jenny was actually farther along in her weightlifting journey than I was. And so I would rely on Jenny a lot to go to the gym. So her, me, and her cousin, we would go to Planet Fitness and do like workouts together. And sometimes it was just like on an app and we would just follow a video. And then she got more into it and she helped me get started and then she pursued personal training. So I mean she was just farther along in this journey and then whenever she moved and she left I kind of had like this like I don't want to say anxiety attack but I had like this I was very self-reliant on Jenny and like the workout was put together by Jenny and and so then I outsourced and one of my friends, she was a personal trainer. She coached me and trained me and showed me proper form because that's the other thing. You can't just like go
Yeah.
in there and like lift a bunch of things. It's like you're gonna break your wrist, you're gonna dislocate your shoulder.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to learn how and so building a community, learning about my body. So I've just
Yeah.
learned more over time, I guess. Yeah. So that's my first habit that I've built.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a really good point too. I think a lot of people get really frustrated because things don't happen quickly.
Mhm.
If you're wanting to lose weight, a healthy rate of fat loss is between half a pound to 1 pound per week. That's not that much. If you are losing
Yeah.
half a pound per week, that means you're only losing 2 pounds at the end of 1 month. So it can feel really, really slow, but you have to stay consistent and you have to beat out that part of you that is like wanting to give up because the best is yet to come if you push past that. Same
Mhm.
with muscle. Like, oh, muscle is even worse. Especially if you're a woman, it takes so long to build muscle. I feel like right now I'm barely starting to see the gains that I was wanting to have when I first started working out 10 years ago. And a lot of that was mental, a lot of that was me getting in my own way. But say I was working out as intentionally as I am right now, back then, I still think it really wouldn't have been that much quicker. So just stay patient with yourself and do
Mm-hmm.
it for the journey. Like, figure it out, do it for the community, like, find out what you love. And as long as you're taking care of your body, that's like the biggest thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, that's pretty much all I have. Any thoughts as before we wrap up?
I don't. I guess the last one to end on a positive note, because I see like personal prompts. A moment you felt proud of your body for what it could do. Jenny, tell me a time you were proud of your body for what it
Hmm.
could do.
Probably, I would say the first moment that I felt that was whenever I was working at Orange Theory. So I don't know if all of the Orange Theories are like this, but the one that I worked at, they wanted you to do a certain set of exercises within like a certain period of time, just because there were a lot of really competitive members that if they could see that they're much more easily able to do something than you, they might not respect you. I don't know if that's like the best mentality, but like, it's the truth. So I think the first one was I think it was like running a like it wasn't that crazy, like maybe 12-minute mile or something like that. Let's see. No, I don't have it in my phone anymore. And then it's like doing like 25 unassisted push-ups, doing like 20 sit-ups unassisted. Oh, and then it was like something crazy, like a 5-minute plank or something like that. I don't know, like something kind of crazy. I might be completely not remembering these numbers correctly, so I apologize if somebody's listening to this and they're like, "That's not right." But I remember being so nervous for that, and like the day that I was supposed to initially do it, it ended up getting canceled for whatever reason, and I was snapping all my friends, and I was like, "Oh, thank God." Thank God. I just did not feel prepared. And then
Mm-hmm.
the second time that it got rescheduled, I did it and I made it all the way through, and I was so proud of myself because that was like the most that I had ever done in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was honestly pretty afraid of like certain like fitness things because of how I was raised around it, and it was just very like drill sergeant driven, and that just wasn't my style. So seeing that I was able to do something like that, I was so proud of myself because I never thought I could do that. And then I remember
Mm-hmm.
whenever I did work at Orange Theory, they had a lot of like benchmark days. So like an example would be one of them was a 1 mile benchmark, and it was just to see how fast you could get your mile down. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime that workout would pop up again, you would try to beat yourself the last time you did it. So I really liked that because
Mm-hmm.
it kind of kept in the you against you mentality rather than getting caught up in like competing with other people.
Mm-hmm. Dang,
What
dude.
about you?
Well, dang. Okay. I feel like this one's not that crazy, but it's crazy for me. So I've told Jenny, Jenny's ran a marathon. She ran the Disney marathon. Or is it half
Half.
marathon or
Yeah, I was
half
going to say,
marathon?
I
That's
would
still how many mi
maybe one
Jenny, how
day.
many miles is that? How many miles is that?
13.1.
Dude, that's fucking crazy. Like, that's a lot for me. That's a lot. But fighting was mental for me. So it wasn't like a really physical thing, but it was mental. And I loved that it was like a rush, but it was gone within 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, it's done. I'm like, all right, cool, it's done. But the most amount of miles that I ran at once, and this was in RTC, this was in college, I ran 7 miles. I was training for the Baton Death March. And after that 7 mile run, I like quit.
You're
I
like,
was
I'm
like, I
good.
don't think this is for me. Yeah, I'm like, I don't think I want to do this again, actually. But I did not think I could run 7 miles. Because for taekwondo, you're training and you're running, but you're doing it for endurance. You're
Yeah.
not trying to become a runner. You're not trying to. So
Yeah.
I would run, but I wouldn't run for like that.
Did you
Uh,
run the whole 7 miles?
yes, dude, yes. I
That's
ran nonstop
crazy.
fucking 7 miles.
See,
That
that's
was really
crazy
fucking
because
crazy.
the
That
half
was
marathon that I did a run walk. So, like, I didn't even,
mm,
I just like lightly jogged.
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's crazy, dude.
I'm like, it was crazy. And then when I was in the program, because you're running so much, the thing that they told us is do not restrict food, do not restrict carbs. Like you're gonna pass out. It is the desert, it is the scorching sun. Like
Yeah.
you're not trying to have what is it? What is it? A heat stroke. You're not trying to be dehydrated. You're not trying to like. So you did eat a lot of carbs. So I think that's also when I had like a bad relationship with food. Like I started, I don't want to say binging, but I didn't have a lot of time between classes and eating and work
Mm.
because I also worked as a student. So then I would eat a lot of food because I wasn't going to be able to eat again later. And I wasn't trying to like, how do I say? I wasn't trying to restrict. Like that wasn't the whole goal. Like
Yeah.
I was trying to eat more, but then because I was eating more, it felt like it was like binging because I was like, I'm not gonna eat later and I'm so hungry right now. So I would eat a lot of carbs. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another story for another day. Cause yeah,
Yeah.
it was not the opposite. I was eating a lot. Was I really fit? Yes, dude. I for the first time ever in my life, I had a six pack. Like because I was doing martial arts and running. But after I ran
Yeah.
7 miles nonstop, I was so sore. Like I could not
Yeah.
walk for 2 days. It was a different type of soreness.
Oh yeah,
And
girl.
like my shins, like whenever I would step, I would be like, my leg.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm glad I did that. I don't think I want to do that again. Like, I'm glad I experienced this pain. I think I'm okay. I think I'm
Yeah.
good.
No, dude, that reminds me. So, whenever I did the half marathon, Val remembers this. I had to work that day. This was when I was
Yeah,
working at Disney
after the
Cruise
race.
Line. And I tried to request it in advance, but they weren't able to approve it off for me because it was during like a time of year where a lot of people were requesting off, so they weren't able to approve it for me. So then there's this thing that you could do. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like if they had too many people on that day, or like if the call volume wasn't that much, you could call and see if you could like get the day off and it wouldn't count against you. And so literally, I'm like walking through the parking lot. I have my medal hanging around my neck. I'm like, like it's starting to set in because like you
Uh-huh.
finally slowed down. So like your body is like, okay, girl, we're gonna start giving some pain to you. So I'm like walking and I'm on the phone. I'm like, hey, would I be able to like not come in if possible? And luckily, I worked from home, so at least there's that. And they were like, I'm so sorry, and I was like, oh, dang it. I literally just ran the half. Like, there's no way. And he's like, no, I'm so sorry. And then I didn't know. A lot of people could be like, oh, just call out. But I don't know if I could do that because at Disney, there was this rule that if you called out and then you went to the parks or something like that, you could get fired because they know your ID and stuff like that. Like, it's all
Mm,
connected. So I didn't know if it was
mm-hmm.
the same thing for like the running events. So I just sucked it
Mm-hmm.
up and I like worked. And again, I worked from home, but I remember being on the phones that day and I would like get up from my chair after like being on a really long call and I'd be like, oh, like it was just crazy. There were places that were sore that I didn't know could exist.
I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Really, yeah.
that was the first time I was like, oh, dang. I was not built for running team. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I did it, and I can say I did
Yeah.
it, and I don't want
We
to
did
do it
it.
again. We did it. You did it. You did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, that's pretty much everything that we have for you guys. Just to kind of wrap things up, I want to remind you that healing your relationship with health can mean a lot of different things. It can mean
Mhm.
healing your relationship with food, family expectations, body image, rest, discipline, self worth. So there's a lot of dynamics at play. And if you feel like you're having a hard time kind of grasping with those things, you're definitely not alone. And you do not
Mhm.
have to abandon your culture to become healthier. I'm going to say that a million times and I will say it a million more. But
Mhm.
that's all I have for you. Anything else to add, Val, as we wrap up?
No, I feel good about it. Yeah, I feel good about it.
All
Yeah.
right, friends. Well, we will
All
see you
right.
in the next one. We love you so
We'll see you
much.
in the
We hope
next
you're
one.
taking
We love
care of
you.
yourself.
Yes. All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye.